Morning everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. It is Boxing Day. It's Boxing Day morning, which means that in just a couple of hours Tottenham are going to be playing Brentford. We're back, baby. The Premier League is finally back. I hope you are all festively plump and bloated, slightly hungover, and yet those physical feelings of nausea are somewhat dampened by the excitement and the energy, the nervous energy of Tottenham away at Brentford. I can't wait. It's going to be interesting how Harry Kane plays. Do the Tottenham fans boo Ivan Toney? Do the Brentford fans harass Harry Kane? How is Conte's 11 going to be put out there, structured? Well, you guys are going to see or know all that before you watch this. Okay, because I'm recording this before the game, but there's really no point in me putting it up before the game because it's just going to clash with all the other viewing and stuff. So I'll stick this up later this evening as a Tottenham news thing, but hopefully we got the 3 points. Guys, please do me a favour, smash the like button, smash the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment on today's video if you've got something to say. I really appreciate the communications back and forth, especially over Christmas. Everyone wishing me a Merry Christmas, and of course the same was always offered back, and I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a really happy new year as well, and I hope that whatever plans and goals that you set yourselves for 2023, that at least 50% of them come true. And if they all come true, then maybe your goals weren't hard enough, and if none of them come true, well then maybe you didn't work hard enough. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to make up some seasonal inspirational talk, and I'm not the kind of guy to do that, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop ranting. Guys, good luck with it anyway. Anyway, let's get going. Tottenham news, transfer news. Look, I mean, there's one kind of bit of news out there, and it's mad actually because it's getting picked up in quite a few different places. And it's an amazing name, but I think the likelihood of it happening is, 1%. And I'm going to butcher the guy's name. You know who I'm going to talk about when I say it, though. It's Kvaratskhelia or something. Kvaratskhelia, the Georgian international who plays for Napoli, who left. I think it was Dynamo Bhutan or something like that. I hadn't heard the team name before. For 10 million euros, and went to Napoli in the summer. And Ruben Kazan, I think it was, sold him to the Dynamo team for 8 million in like March. So he's been in 3 different clubs in the last 10 months. And his form is just unbelievable. Right? He's 11 games played in the Serie A, 6 goals, 5 assists. Phenomenal. He's 21. Generally plays off the left-hand side. Generally can play as a second striker, or can also play on the right-hand side, but mainly predominantly on the left-hand side. A fantastic talent. His technical skills are phenomenal. His dribbling is creative and a delight to watch. He's very tricky, likes to incorporate lots of tricks into the way he starts the move. His ability to distribute the ball with vision, accuracy, first time passes is out of this world. Bugsy, come out of there please. Good girl. She's chasing the ducks this time. And his shooting is also phenomenal. Like, just a great player, really interesting player, a real talent. He's valued at about 60 million quid now, and it's a typical, another one of these stories of Tottenham being linked with players that you could have signed 6 months ago or a year ago for peanuts, but because they weren't big names, then we didn't do it. And the fans weren't even calling for us to sign them back then. Suddenly they materialise, and then the fans, a lot of the fans, not all of the fans, not you necessarily, but some people, then roll their eyes. They roll their eyes at the idea of another Levy signing when they're first linked at 5 million, 10 million, and then they say, well, we could have bloody signed that guy in the summer when the guy materialises. Like, kind of talking out of both sides of the mouth, wanting your cake and eat it. Can't do right for doing wrong even. And Kvaratskhelia, whatever his name is another example of that. You could throw Sofyan Amrabat into that group of players just recently. Could have signed him in January, didn't. He's still on the radar, by the way, for Tottenham. Liverpool after him now have the front runner. And you could also throw Kim Min-jae into that, you know. Could have signed that guy 4 times over the last 3 or 4 years. Didn't. And now, allegedly, not that I believe any of these things anymore, but we're thinking about paying out some ridiculously inflated release clause. So Tottenham have got recent history in identifying the right players, not pulling the trigger, and then regressing it, you know. But I guess that comes with the territory with the Paratici style model, where he goes and has those kind of 25 different conversations with 25 different clubs, hoping that he'll eventually agree 5 deals and then eventually pull the trigger on 1. But look, guys, what I would say is there's 6 days until the window opens. We've got, I think, 12 or 13 games in January and February. Oh, sorry, January and early February. That 6-week period where it's just madness run of games, and the difficulty is insane. Manchester City back-to-back, split down the middle with an Arsenal game, and I think Fulham in there as well. Got the 2 Milan games later in February. You've got Chelsea, Portsmouth, Villa, Leicester, I think. It's absolutely incredible how they're squeezing so many games in, and the difficulty of the games that are coming up. And so if you really have a dream scenario of signing players that are going to help push us into the business end of the season, and whether you're looking at centre backs and right wing backs, or whether you're looking at, you know, this plethora of midfielders that we don't need yet are constantly linked with. Morning, guys. Ultimately, you need whoever's coming in to come in really early. What's his name? Mikel Arteta said, I think yesterday, or at least Fabrizio Romano reported it yesterday, that, you know, that Arsenal, I know what they need, and that him and Edu, and I think it's Edu, and the other guys that are on the decision-making process board are all in agreement that they want to sign players early, get them in early, that they understand how important that 35-40 day window is. And if you wait until the end of January, not only have you missed those 10 games, you then have to let them bed into early Feb. Look, Decky and Bentancur hitting the ground running as quickly as they did is the exception to the rule. Most players need time. So we need to get players signed, you know, January the 1st. January the 2nd, they fly in for their medical. January the 3rd, it's announced. January the 4th, they're training. January the 5th, they're showing signs of their readiness. January the 6th, they're in the starting 11. Now, that's what you need. So you can make... Not that timing necessarily adds up, but you know what I mean. Like, you just need them to hit the ground running, but you need them to have enough space to be able to make the impact. And I'm just not hearing any real noise about any centre-backs. We know the Pedro Porro deal, again, if there's any truth to what we're reading, but that looks like there's some substance to it. A lot of journalists are kind of running with that story that we're going to sacrifice the Marcus Edwards 50%, you know, sell-on clause as part of a make weight in getting him over the line, which would be superb, right? If we can get that done, excellent work. I think that immediately turns the window into a baseline 6 out of 10. Then if you can go and get a centre back, then now you're cooking with gas. But we're not hearing any noise about any centre backs. And if I'm entirely honest, if what I spoke about the other day was true, that Conte says he's going to tell the club where they need help, and then the club will go and do what they can as long as it fits the model of young players that don't want high wages, then most of those easy centre-back signings that we've spoken about ad nauseum are not going to make sense. De Vrij is not going to want peanuts. Skriniar is going to want to be he's going to want to be on club the highest earners. Same with most of them, right? The same with most of them. Even the younger players that we've been talking about, like Silva and Dikar, those guys, they're going to want to come in with certain wage levels that are consistent with the reputation that they formed in the early start of their year. So let's hope that there's no real truth to it. But for the love of God, let's all at least hope that the conversations have been had in the last 6 weeks. Because if they haven't, then what the hell has been going on? I think that there should be a lot of early business in this window, because a lot of the clubs have had a lot of time to talk with each other over the last 6 weeks. And I just really hope that all of the noise about Paratici and the distractions with Italy, I hope that hasn't been anywhere near as prominent in the foreground at Tottenham Hotspur as it's been in the kind of press and how I've been reporting on it with you guys. I hope that hasn't been some stumbling block or a hurdle. And I really hope that Conte's, I'm happy but I'm not signing yet motif is also not proving to be a major stumbling block in the decision making around identification of, conversations with, and ideally the early signings of some of these players that we need. Because we're hearing about 1,000 different midfielders that we don't really need, and very little centre backs. And there's 6 days, guys, until we get going. Also, 6 days until allegedly that £50 million war chest that hasn't been taken yet gets sucked back into escrow or into the accounts of the owners. It's all very nervous, guys. It's all very interesting. Listen, I'm recording this before the Tottenham game today, but I really hope that we've gone on and smashed it and we're 3 points better off than we were as I'm talking. I'll see you on the next one, guys. No, I'll see you on the Irish Hotspur at 12:15 for the watch along. And I'd like to wish you all a very happy Boxing Day, and do whatever you're doing with fun and love in your thoughts. Cheers, guys. Like, share and subscribe. And as always, bye bye.